Hi there, everyone. I'm Michelle.
I'm Jim, and we are
A Teague of Your Own. Welcome to another Motivational Monday.
Let's get motivated.
Woohoo! Yay! It's still a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
No, it is a nice day today.
It's gorgeous out.
It's sunny, but it's not hot.
It's not.
At least not yet.
No.
Yesterday wasn't too bad.
No.
Yesterday evening was very nice.
Yes.
It was.
And it's supposed to be this way for the next few days.
I know.
That's going to be nice. Good stuff. For those of you who've been keeping track, we've been working with some girls for the youth leadership program.
Yes.
That we're doing at Delphi Village, and they're making a lot of progress.
Yes.
It's going well. They're doing real well. We've done 6 weeks, so we've got
6 weeks.
two
We got 2 left.
weeks left. Going really well for them. We're excited. And it's amazing to see these girls who didn't want to get up and speak in front of a group are now clamoring to get up and speak in front of a group.
Yes, many of them are. They can't wait to get up and speak. So yeah, it's been a big transformation for a lot of them.
It has.
Yeah.
Going really well for them. So we're excited about that. This week, we said last week we were going to talk about a book, and we're actually going to talk about a different book than we mentioned. We're going to talk about this. 4. It's by Jeff Henderson. If you've never read this book, if you've never seen this book, go out and get this book. We've sold more books for Jeff Henderson.
We've sold a lot of books for Jeff.
And there's not one penny in it for us.
No.
Not that we're complaining, Jeff. We're friends on Facebook and LinkedIn. And yeah, he's a good guy.
Well, we've helped sell a lot of books for him.
We have
I
helped
wouldn't
sell.
say a lot, relatively speaking, but it's it gets a nice little pop.
Yeah, we're for Jeff Henderson.
We are for Jeff Henderson.
Anyway, the book 4, it's 4 infers that you are in favor of.
Yes.
Okay, you are in favor of someone or something.
Right.
And in it, Jeff talks about the 4 different groups that businesses should be in favor of or for.
Right, because he starts out talking about the traditional model.
Yes.
Is that the business is all about, hey, look at me, look at us, aren't we wonderful? Don't we do fantastic things? You want to buy our stuff? And it's all about us.
No.
And Jeff says, got to change that way of thinking, because the world doesn't work like that anymore.
No. What he talks about in 4 is he talks about how you need to flip the model so that the organization is for the community, it's for the customer, it's for the team, and it's for you because you're part of the organization.
Right. And it makes sense that, the way things have evolved, because, early in the 20th century, when you had all of these companies that were being created and all these business and totally new products.
Mm-hmm.
We love watching the documentaries on History Channel about, the food that made America, the men that made America, so on and so forth. And you realize that for a lot of these companies, they had to be that way, where they say, look at us, come look at our products, see how these can help change and improve your life. Because people didn't even know what the products were. I mean, you watch those documentaries, I'm always amazed at how much the world changed from the end of the Civil War until, really World War II.
Yeah.
That whole stretch.
Yeah.
And then you had another progression after that war. But,
even during the war, when you think about some of the products that were created, because the first thing that comes to my mind is nylon.
Yeah.
Nylon was created during World War II.
Right.
And there a bunch of women out there couldn't buy pantyhose or stockings because the materials that were used, I believe it was silk, that was used to create it, the Department of Defense took all of it.
Yeah. Well,
and so they needed something.
Needed it for parachutes and stuff.
And nylon was created for pantyhose. Right. Just amazing.
But now we're at a point where we have all these wonderful conveniences. I mean, our lives as compared to the lives of people 100 years ago.
Mhm.
It's just, I marvel every day. She thinks I'm crazy,
No,
but I find so much of what we have available to us these days to be so amazing.
well, and once upon a time when I was teaching for University of Phoenix online, one of the classes that I taught was a nutrition class. And one of the discussion questions that we would have is, when do you think the best period of time was to be alive uh, in our country? And it always amazed me, the people who would be like, oh, back in the 1800s or back in the 1700s or in the early 1900s. And I'm like, no, now's the best time.
Yeah.
Now you have lots of good things going for you. You've got healthy people. You've got plenty of food out there. You've got plenty of resources available to help people. Now is the best time.
Now.
Yeah.
And so as a result, where this is all going,
Yeah.
The old model of the company saying, hey, look at us, come see what we got, come look at us.
Mm-hmm.
Now companies have to do the opposite
Mm-hmm.
and show their clientele, their stakeholders, I'm looking for the right term, their stakeholders,
Yep.
whomever they may be, that the company is in favor of them.
Yes.
Rather than the company waiting for the customer to be in favor of the company.
Yes.
And so that Jeff really turns it on its head.
Yeah, he does.
And it's a model that makes a lot of sense when you think about it, because again, we don't have to go out there and tell people so much about our new products, because a lot of things that we have, it's like My Pillow. It's just a variation on a theme. Okay? This product has already existed, that somebody else has found a way to tweak it, make it a little bit better, but people don't need to be introduced to products so much anymore. And we've all become so sophisticated, even when we are introduced to new products, we soak it up real fast. We don't have to really learn how to use new things. We see it, we get it, bam. It's not like 100 years ago when people had to be basically trained and shown, this is what this is. This is what this can do for you. Yeah, it's completely brand new. Most things now are just variations on the theme. They're just, you found some way to tweak it, make it a little bit better, marginally better. So you don't have that same sort of deal between the company and the customer. And so that's really what Jeff's book is about.
Yeah, and he starts off in 4. There you are. He starts off talking about when this idea came to him, and he was, at the time, he was working for Chick-fil-A, and he was in their marketing department, and he had been asked to drive Truett Cathy to a speaking engagement. So I want you to imagine that you've got a billionaire business owner sitting in the front seat next to you as a passenger, and your job is to get him safely from point A to point B.
I'd be nervous.
Yeah. And Jeff was a little nervous.
I bet he was.
Decided that he was going to, follow any and every suggestion and law that the Department of Motor Vehicles had and the state of Georgia had. And so followed the speed limit, maybe went a little bit slower because he wanted to make sure he had plenty of reaction time, anything and everything he did. And what happened was, at first he wasn't paying a bit of attention to what Truett Cathy was saying, which is a big bad thing not to do.
That's a mistake.
Because he was so concentrated on driving and paying attention to what was going on the road. And then he realized, hold on a second, Truett's trying to have a conversation with me. Oh, maybe I should pay attention to this. And then he realized, oh, he's asking questions about me personally and about my family and how am I doing and how's my family doing and how are my parents, how's my wife, how's my children. And Truett was taking a true interest in Jeff. And he wanted to find out more about Jeff. And he writes in here that Truett was more interested in the business growing people than he was in the people growing the business. And that's exactly how his business grew. Truett Cathy took an active interest in the people around him. Didn't matter if they were employees, didn't matter if they were customers, didn't matter if they were family or friends. He took an active interest in the people around him. He was for those people. He was in favor of them. He wanted them to be successful. And that's how he grew his business. And that's how Jeff figured out FOR. Because he saw it in action, and he's used it for his own companies. He used it when he started. What was the church that he started? Anyway,
he started a church.
Yeah, and he's actually started 2 of them at this point. But both of the churches that he started, he used the principles here that he writes about in FOR. And he got amazing results because of that, because he didn't focus on him getting the message out and saying, look at how wonderful we are and look at what we can do for you. What he focused on was looking at customers, looking at the people who are working there and saying, what can I do for you?
Yeah.
How can I help you?
How can we help you?
How can I serve you? How can I help you be a better person, and how can I help you grow? And once they did that, instead of looking at them and saying, you need to help me grow, it was, no, how can I help you grow? Once they did that, that's when the growth all began.
Well, and it's not just the customers.
No.
Who are the other constituents that are involved?
The community, is
yeah.
huge when it comes to reaching out to the community. And one of the big takeaways that you'll get when you read FOR, and we're going to be talking about this in the coming weeks, is that a lot of companies forget about the social part of social media.
Right.
And when it comes to your community, you have to remember that. You have to be in favor of, you have to be for your community. You have to be in favor of growing the community and making it stronger and making it a better place.
Right. And he asked the question, if your company disappeared tomorrow, would people even notice?
Yeah.
And, that's part of the idea of, if you are out there supporting the community, you're supporting your customers, you're supporting your employees, because that's another one of the groups. Then if something happens and you were to disappear, they'd notice. Yeah. They'd notice. But if it's all about you, and think about this, there's many companies, there's restaurants, places that they've gone away.
Oh, yeah.
You just find someplace else to go.
Yes.
You forget about them. Even big places, like think about Kmart. Kmart used to be huge, and now they're gone, and people don't even notice. I mean, it's because you've got better alternatives. Go to Walmart, go to got Lowe's and Home Depot for buying tools and things. I mean, you got a lot of different places, and so Kmart, they really became irrelevant.
Yeah.
Sears, you still got Penny's, you still got Macy's, you still got alternatives.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that people really miss Sears that much. So yeah, that's one of the big points that he makes, and it has that. And you have to ask that question: if you disappeared tomorrow, would people even notice?
Yeah. One of the other groups, like you said, he talks about is, are you for the team?
The team.
Are you for the team that you are working with? The people that surround you in your organization. What are you doing to help them grow? What are you doing to help them become a better version of themselves? And by doing that, by growing the team, you end up growing your organization.
Right.
Because the reality is, the way that you treat your team is the way that your team treats your customers.
Yeah. Yeah. And companies, people who run companies or work in companies in leadership positions, forget that. They seem to think that they can treat their employees, their workers, their team like garbage, and yet expect them to go out and provide quality service to the customers. It doesn't work that way. Because what'll happen is, and we've seen this in action, where you can tell you've got a disgruntled employee, they're not happy. And worse is when you got a whole group of disgruntled employees, your entire team is unhappy, and you go to this place of business, whatever it may be. I know a recent example for me was going for a medical visit, And it was obvious that the team and the people that were there that I made first contact with, which is the worst ones to have like this, they were not happy. And they looked at me as being an inconvenience in their life. And the level of service that I got was atrocious. It was worse than bad.
Yep.
But I was there to see the doctor. I wasn't there to see them. But it still stuck with me that, you know, and they were complaining about things that were going on at their job right in front of me. You don't ever do that. The customer shouldn't know about these things. And yet, but I think it's probably because they didn't view me as a customer, because it's I'm not a customer in the traditional sense for them. But that's all the more is the shame on the leadership team at the organization for not having their people think of everybody that steps in front of them is a customer.
Yep.
Everybody that steps in front of them is a customer. So that means that the team leading that organization needs to be for their team. Yeah. And in that case, it's obvious they're not.
Yeah. Yeah. Because the reality is, and everybody out there has worked for a company that did not appreciate them.
Oh, yeah.
All of us that are out there, we have all worked for companies that did not appreciate the people who worked there. And what happens? You leave.
Yeah.
Because there are better opportunities out there. There are companies out there that appreciate their teams. There are leaders out there who appreciate the people who are working with them. So the way that you are treated there on the job and in an organization is the way that you will end up treating the people in front of you. Mm-hmm. And the better you're treated, the better you're going to treat them.
Exactly right.
That's the way it works.
And it isn't necessarily just compensation. That's one of the things where a lot of employers will fall down, is they think it's just compensation. Oh, if I pay them enough, they'll be happy.
Nope.
No. They want pleasant working conditions.
Yeah.
They want supportive leaders. They want training. Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Yes, they do.
They want to see an organization that's willing to invest in them and wants to help them advance their careers. Nothing worse than having employees who feel like they are stuck right where they are, and they don't see any other way to get out than to leave your organization. That you don't ever want to do that. They feel stuck. They feel underappreciated. Nobody ever tells them, hey, great job. You know, you got to say that every once in a while. And, you know, when you have people in your organization that they go years without ever hearing anything, it's discouraging.
It is.
It's discouraging. And it shows that the organization is not for them.
Yep. And then the last group that he talks about in his book that an organization needs to be for is you. You, the leader, you, the individual. Your organization needs to be for you. It needs to be for your advancement. It needs to be for your growth. Because the reality is an organization can only grow as fast as the people within that organization grows. And if you're not growing, that means the organization isn't growing. And you've heard us talk about this before. Everybody needs to be constantly growing, because as soon as you stop growing, as soon as you stop learning, what happens?
You stagnate.
Yep. You stagnate, you start withering, you start dying.
You're in that comfort zone, and what grows in the comfort zone?
Nothing. Your waistline.
Yeah, well, yeah, it will. You can.
We found that out during COVID.
Yeah, we did.
Most people did. But
that wasn't really a comfort zone. That was more like being stuck in your own personal little prison zone.
Companies need to be for you. They need to be for the individual, and those are the four groups that they're for. They're for the customer, they're for the community, they're for the team, and they're for you. And we're going to talk about those over the next few weeks. Sound like a plan?
Yeah. So we gave you the 30,000 foot view today, and then we're going to dive into more detail.
Yep.
On some
over
of
the
these.
next few weeks. We've actually done trainings based on the book. So if you'd like to find out more about FOR, we literally just completed 3 trainings using it. And we've done it before in the past too. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it. I want to say, are we working with the group in Johnstown? Are we using some of this?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know if we are or not. Anyway, reach out to us if you're interested. We're more than happy to come in and do a training for you based on FOR. It's a good way to get everybody on the same page. It's a good way, and it's a good way to help figure out how to grow your organization. Because the reality is that's what this book is all about. It's a growth strategy for making sure that your business is thriving and relevant in the world today. That's what it's about. So let us know. And if they wanted to reach out to us about some type of training, how could they do that?
Send us an email.
And what's our email?
info@ateagueofyourown.com.
info@ateagueofyourown.com. Correct. How else could they reach us?
Phone.
Oh, phone.
I know.
People call? What? And what is our phone number?
412-420-7975.
Yes, 412-420-7975. How else could they reach us?
Through Facebook, LinkedIn.
Facebook, LinkedIn.
Instagram.
We are on Instagram, and we're also on YouTube.
Yeah.
Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We need more subscribers like you out there. How else could they reach us?
I don't know. Isn't that about it?
Our webpage.
Oh, yes, our website. Hello.
We're on that interweb thingy. Yeah. And what is that?
ateagueofyourown.com.
ateagueofyourown.com. Go there. It's fun. Lots of good stuff on there for you. All right. So reach out to us. Let us know what we can do for you to help you grow, because we are for you. Right?
Yeah.
Cool beans. All right. Other than that, we will see you next week. Next Monday is actually our webinar that we're doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So y'all will see a whole lot more stuff on social media about that this week. But we will see you next week. Have a wonderful one. Bye, everyone.
Bye.